Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Desirée, and in this video I will be sharing with you something that happened yesterday. Led me to recognize and notice something that I used to do a lot, which was keeping myself in situations where I was not comfortable in, and I still chose to remain in those situations. For example, if I'm in a party and I leave early, I used to believe that the person would feel sad, right, if I would leave early. So I would remain in that party even though I didn't feel like staying there, because my body was telling me to leave and I was not listening to it. So I have put myself in a lot of situations where I was not comfortable in and where I didn't want to be in, just to not feel responsible for the person's reaction or the person's emotions. So let's jump right into it. So yesterday, I felt like this inspiration to just go to the beach, right? So I took my car and I went to the beach. And when I arrived there, I sat like on my towel. I say hi to a few people that I saw, like that I knew, that were like also at the same beach that I was at. But it's still like, oh, and I was like hesitant, like in that environment, right? And I'm like, I felt inspired to come here. And I felt inspired to, but like, why, right? And then I was like, okay, so I had like this person that I knew. He was sitting by me, and I'm like, because I like also like if I was by myself, and sometimes like the waves, they wash the things into the ocean. And then I asked this guy, I was like, hey, do you think the waves are gonna like come to this place like right now, like anytime soon? Because I just want to go play a little bit in the water. And I'm like, and he was like, no, I don't think so, and I can watch that for you. And I was like, oh, I felt relieved. So I was like, oh, okay. Then I went to the ocean, and the waves at Kehena beach are always like very intimidating, right? They're like really big, and like I don't feel very comfortable to go in the ocean and swim on my own yet. But I do go like in the water and like just play with the waves, like and I stay there and like I don't go all the way in. I just stay there, playing contact with the water and the ocean, and it felt really good. I felt like I've had some people come to me and play with me, and that felt really great. And then I stay there for a little while, like a few minutes, like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, I don't remember. But then I went back to my towel and I sat down, right? And I was like, people, like the people around me, I was like looking around, and I was like, I think that I got what I wanted it and what I needed it, which was like play with the water. That was my first intention, right? And I saw everyone sitting, and I saw everyone still there, like people that were there before I arrived. And I was like, they must have been here all day, right? And that's what you do when you come to the beach. You come and you just sit down and you stay for a while, and you talk to people, and you just hang out, and you just stay. You don't just like come to the beach and go play in the ocean for a little bit and then you go back home. That would be like my first thought. But at the time, what I realized was that, I like got out of the ocean, I sat down, I like look around, and I felt the impression like, oh, okay, I'm done. So I start to like, I put my shorts back on, I grab my things, and I start to head back to my car. And when I sat down in my car, I was like, oh my goodness, I just follow my wants. I just follow my intuition, and that feels really good, because I could have been just sitting there around, like, not wanting to be there just because I was at the beach and that's what I was supposed to do. And when I sat in the car, I felt like really proud of myself. I was proud of myself because I was following my own timeline, and I was following my own desires and my own needs, and despite of anyone else around me, right? I was doing what I wanted to do. I felt inspired to go to the beach and to play in the ocean, to go in the water because it was really hot, and that was all that I needed. Like, I was not feeling the need to go to the beach to socialize and to make deeper connections and to be social. That was not the vibe that I was yesterday. That was on Sunday I did that. I stayed there longer, and because I wanted it. But yesterday was different, and I'm really happy and proud of myself for not like being harsh or judge myself as like, oh, you should have stayed longer, you should have pushed yourself and go talk to people and make connections and stay in the environment even if you didn't want to. Like, I didn't give in to those judgments or those thoughts that used to hunt me in the past, right? You have to be this certain way, you have to do X, Y, and Z when you go to this specific environment. That's what you're supposed to do. And that is something that I have been playing with and doing and trying to do differently. When I go places, I'm trying to listen to what I want to do and what feels good to me in the moment. And that's something that I've like to, and that's the reason why I'm sharing this with you, because I want you to notice in your own life, like, where are the places that you go to that you feel like, oh, I'm done here, but I don't want to make let's say Barbara. I don't know why Barbara, but let's pick Barbara. Yeah, I just don't want to make Barbara sad that I'm gonna leave. But you're gonna make Barbara sad anyways. Because if you're there and you feel like you want to leave and you are not happy and you are just pretending like you really desire to be there, even though you are tired and just want to go home and do other things, right? But you still like, oh, you don't want to make Barbara sad because you're leaving. And I just want you to let you know that and share with you that you're not responsible for how Barbara is going to respond or how Barbara is going to feel. You have to follow what you feel, like what you want to do, or like how you are feeling. Like, do you feel like you still want to be in this party, or you came to the party and you share your love with Barbara, but now you feel like, oh, and now I'm ready to go, and I'm just gonna follow this impression. I'm just gonna follow the feeling inside of me that I just want to go. And that was something that it was really hard for me to understand, that sometimes what people are gonna think about the reasons why I left, or what they're gonna say about me, or all those judgments, right? And all that shame that I used to feel, that is not my responsibility. The only thing that I'm responsible for is how I respond and how I treat myself. Like, am I being respectful towards myself? Because if I'm not being respectful to me, I'm not actually being respectful towards another person, right? In the sense of, if I'm not respecting myself first, how am I supposed to respect someone else? Like, that doesn't make sense, because if I'm putting my own respect at risk when I decide to do something that I am not compelled to do. And that is something that has been like really hard for me to do. And I'm noticing that slowly I'm becoming better at doing this. And that is not just like one pill that you're gonna take that is gonna be all of a sudden you're gonna change completely. Like, there are still ups and downs and situations where you have to remind yourself. Like, it's something that you have to remind yourself and ask yourself, like, how am I feeling? Like, and just like be mindful and caring. Like do you feel like, you can ask yourself, like, do you feel like you still want to be here, or do you feel like you want to go home? You want to go home? Then let's go home. So, and you can also just give yourself the permission before you go anywhere, right? You can give yourself the permission and let you know that okay, we are going to this event, we are going to this place, and I just want you to know that I'm listening to you, and whenever you feel like it's time for us to go, we are just gonna go. And I don't want you to feel pressured to stay if you don't feel like staying, and there's no pressure at all. And we can just leave, we can just go to a different area, we can go sit down in the grass. If there's grass, we can just go sit by the sand. We can take a breath together, like on my own. We can have a moment if we need to. And knowing that I have this resource within me, that's what really helps me nowadays to just go places and do things, because I know that I can trust myself. I know that if I am in a situation where I feel overwhelmed, or that I feel I don't feel like I want to be in, or that I am tired, I will respect myself, because I made that commitment to myself prior to going there, right? I know that I can trust myself, and I can take myself from that situation, and I'm the only one that can do that. No one can take me out of the situation that they don't know that I'm at, and I'm the one responsible for doing that. So it's my job, it's my responsibility to provide that to myself. So reminding myself, that's a great tool that I have been using. So I know and I feel confident when I go places, because I know that if I don't want to be there, if I went to a place where I felt inspired to go, but then like all of a sudden I arrived there and I spent like 10 minutes there, and I'm like, okay, like I talked to a few people that I need to talk to, but now it's time for me to go, and I will listen to that and I will go. I do not need to compare myself to others and to what others are doing, because everyone is different and everyone have different needs. For me as an introvert, sometimes like I can go to a social situation and I can talk to a few people, and sometimes like I can talk to a lot of people, but sometimes like it's just one person that I need to talk to, really. And that's all that I need, and that's the reason like why I went, right? Not because I knew, but that's what happened. And if I would, every time that I would go to an event and I would compare myself to all the extrovert people that are there, like that, like are non-stop, like talking to everyone and like having so much fun, like being extrovert, right? Because that's how they're feeling their energy, right? With being extrovert. And sometimes I can tap into that, but sometimes like it's just a few people that I need to talk to, not like everyone, right? But when I really felt peace about knowing that about myself and respecting myself and knowing and giving myself the permission to just be myself and listen to my own body and listen to what I want to do and what I need to do, that's when everything like changed for me, because I used to believe that I needed to be like everyone else, right? I needed to be like all the other people. And what if the like everyone else is like going places and staying like and doing all those things, but like what if in reality they are just like doing the same thing as I was doing? They were just doing that to fit in with others, so they feel part of the collective and the group of the tribe, right? They are doing that so they can feel like they belong. But what if in reality they are just like as tired or like as like just wanting to go home as much as I would like to, right? But we're just there because we want to feel like we fit in, and that we have to be like, we have to have this desire and we have to just do this, right? Because everyone else does. But what if we just don't want to at sometimes? And what if so many other people are not doing the same thing? Like they're not listening to their truth and to their desires, right? And to their own intuition that is telling them like, hey, yeah, you had fun, you did everything that you need to do, but like now you can just leave and you can just go. And I know that sometimes it's really hard to follow our intuition and do the things that we want to do. And because sometimes the way that people respond, we feel almost like, I don't know if it's we feel shame, because sometimes the way that people react or respond to our needs are not the way that we expected. But we are the ones responsible for how we handle that situation. Like, do we give in? Do we disrespect ourselves and do something that we don't want to do just so that this person is not gonna respond, so we're gonna make this person happy? Or we prioritize our happiness and what is gonna make us happy, right? And yeah, so that's my invitation, and I would like to invite you to just give yourself permission to, and let yourself know that you are listening to your intuition and you are listening to your body. That when you are in situations like right before you go to somewhere, right, remind yourself that you have the free will to just go, and you can just leave. You can just do the things that you want to do despite of anyone else and despite of what everyone else is doing. You don't have to be doing the same thing that they are doing, because you are different. You are unique and you have your own needs, and your needs are not the same as someone else's needs, right? So yes, that's my invitation. And yeah, let me know how it goes, and how is your relationship. Like, do you follow your intuition? Do you follow your gut feelings? Like, do you listen to your nose, and when you feel like you want to do something, do you do? And when you don't want to do that anymore, do you keep doing that, or do you stop and do something else that you want, that you feel like you want to do? Or do you, yeah, that's the stop over here. Otherwise I'm gonna be asking you questions and I'm not gonna stop. But yes, I really hope that you can take something away from this video, and thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you another day.